Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me in Karen Hunter is Awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. We were talking about the state of our union. I had Joel Christian Gill on, and we were talking, and I threw out a throwaway line. It wasn't a throwaway line, but to give an example of how we need to stay focused in this time, particularly our leaders. And I was like, like today, Jasmine Crockett, to me, made an unforced error, and it was unnecessary to make that comment because now everybody's going to be shifted to, and my point was proven. But for some reason, the people cannot align with reason, and so maybe I'm not articulate enough to explain what it is that I'm feeling. I'm not feeling what I know is going to be a distraction. So let me illustrate it. So today she was, on the Hill, get ready to go argue about Doge and all of the things that are happening in this country. And here's how she got hemmed up in the hallway by a reporter. Please, Miss.
Put out a statement regarding that.
You didn't apologize.
I put out a statement.
Why would I apologize?
When I put out a statement, my statement was clear.
But you didn't apologize for calling him Governor
Greg
when he
was
gets
clear.
around in a wheelchair.
I don't know
how that's offensive.
I don't understand.
Who have a disability
You need me to repeat this to you.
Right, but why won't you apologize?
I put out a statement.
They didn't have an apology.
So read my statement.
I did read it. It didn't have an apology.
Okay. Well, I'm done.
You don't feel bad about making fun of someone who is in a wheelchair?
Listen, let me just be clear for the people in the back, those who, maybe got like a lot of wax buildup. You don't clean your ears out with hydrogen peroxide frequently. I have zero problem with her calling him what she called him. Zero. Personally, me, myself, no problem. In the context in which she did it, at an event which was filmed, she had on nice clothes, she was talking to an audience of people. It did not help what she was there to do, nor did it further our collective cause, which is to hold these motherfreakers accountable and this is her job. She's a representative. She might have been speaking at an event, but she is representing the people in that capacity. It was an unforced error because it was funny in the moment and it came out her mouth. But I'm certain that this is not something that is going to move the needle towards holding them accountable. This is going to be the thing that they keep hanging her on. And no, yes, we should support her and all these other things. But what I said, and let me just say, it was a throwaway line, and I kept talking. I was like, because we sometimes you give up the right to be right. I didn't even go into detail, but you give up the right to be right. This is something I was taught, as a young reporter, because I was very bombastic in the office at the New York Daily News. I would be, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And somebody in HR actually pulled me to the side and said, "You're right. Everything you're saying is right. But sometimes you give up the right to be right by how you're presenting it." And I'm not saying, Trump is horrible. All of them, they're all horrible. I can't say, and I talk about them every day. But when we are in this fight, we need our warriors to not be bogged down with the nonsense, and especially if it's their own doing. But I literally said it, moved on, lines lit. So I posted the clip on YouTube because, people on YouTube don't listen to the show anyway. Right. So it's, oh my God, comments, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You're one of them people. Just, all this stuff. And I'm saying, okay. So Roderick, I could be wrong, and I could be wrong, but this is how I see it.
I don't think you're wrong. I actually, this is the thing. I always end up defending this line, but I go back to it every time. When Michelle Obama said, "When they go low, we go high," everybody got mad at her, and everyone likes to pat themselves on the back for being like, "Not me, I go to hell." But we don't. Like, it's like if Batman start killing people, then you actually not the hero anymore that you want to be. And I know I go a little bit further. I think Jasmine was wrong to make the remark. And the reason I say that is because our coalition is built on allyship with each other. And part of the people that are in our coalition are disabled people. And so when you take a swipe at a disabled person you don't like, but only because of their disability is what you take the swipe at, this man is giving us so many things to admonish him for. He's not a good person. But when we turn it into like, oh, you can't use your legs. Well, there's a bunch of activists who protest, march, vote, get out the vote for the Democrats that also do not have use of their legs. So while some of them will come in, pat you on the back and be like, it's okay, you can do it, I don't care. It still at its core is picking on the man's disability as opposed to his policies and the things that we actually oppose. And in this time where they do a lot of outrage flopping on the other side, they're going to use this distraction to their fullest ability to distract from the fact he's a terrible human being and what his policies do. And you're going to spend valuable time telling everybody, well, first of all, I'm not sorry or I don't care or whatever, which I think is always kind of a bad look on the Democratic side, because our side wants people to care. It's the superpower of the left is we want you to care. I'm not trans, but part of the being on the left means I need to care about that. I'm not an immigrant, but I need to care about that. Shared empathy is what we have over here. And I'm expecting immigrants to care about my Black issues, because 13% of us is not enough to do anything in this country completely alone. We need each other and we need other people in our coalition. So all that to say, it's the reason you can't just be like Caitlyn Jenner. Let me say something bad about trans people. No, you say something bad about Caitlyn Jenner. She's giving you a lot of reasons to say something bad without misgendering her. It's that kind of thing. And I know it. I understand a private citizen and like comedians and stuff that I'm not holding them to the same account, but when you're an elected official, it does carry a different way. And for Jasmine, it does. And I think this is kind of the pitfalls of catering to social media, because the social media silo, that climate, the rules very much change by how much they like you. So we like Jasmine, so we want to make rules change. But I would just like to say, what if you flip this analogy? So let's say someone who is on our side, let's say a white person, let's say AOC Brown, she doesn't like something that Tim Scott did. She calls him sellout, coon, whatever.
No, Uncle Stephen from Django.
Yeah, she calls him, Stephen from Django, Uncle Tom, whatever parlance we typically use intraculturally. If she does that, there are going to be some people that will go, I'm Black and I don't care that she called him that. But there's going to be some people that are Black that go, that's not your word. Don't use that. We don't like him either. But you don't need to be saying, but what it's now become is a waste of time, because we got to get all the Black people back together on the like, no, AOC ain't that bad, or AOC got to go. But whatever it is, it's just a waste of time. I don't think we have time to waste in this moment right now. We need complete resistance on every level. We need people to be aligned in that resistance, not picking each other off and doing and fighting inside. So that's why I would have advised to not do it, or to at least say, hey, you know what, y'all are right. That's not my issue with him. My issue is this, this, and this. But I think people are very resigned to this moment of like, we need to match the Republican energy.
Right.
But it's a toxic energy.
That's what I'm saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be demonic and toxic. I don't want to match that energy.
And you can't beat them at it. Like
no.
they're going to be more toxic than you. Like you can make yourself think that like, oh, you can't do what they do, because there's people within our group who, unlike the people in their group, so the Black people that are Republican will absolutely look at someone's racism and go, I don't care, I'm going to vote for this Republican. We don't do that over here. You got to be damn near perfect to get everybody to vote for you. Right. So I just think it's a waste of time and energy. It's not a good strategy.
And this, they do it too. It sounds very fifth grade to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do what they do. Period. Right. And no, neither should you. Should you want to? And so, but my ultimate point is, how does it move us forward? Her goal as representative from the great state of Texas is to hold these people to account, is be the third, the hold the door, against this tyranny that we're in. How does that help? Right. It hasn't. It's done the opposite, which is what I predicted would happen. And so I'm going to take one, maybe two calls on this because it is a distraction. It is meant for us to have this conversation where, and what's really wild is people want to cancel me for saying, but y'all, how are you okay?
Right.
Are you okay?
And ultimately, like, best case scenario at this point is ultimately it won't matter months down the road, whatever, right?
Hopefully.
That's the best case scenario.
Correct.
Is that we go, she might have been a bit wrong, but it doesn't matter because they're so wrong over there that we'll let this go. And they may be right, but I'm saying there's a time, there's a way to play this where you don't even have to have this moment of like, should we or shouldn't we?
That part. And once it's done, it's done.
Right.
You know, but this, to me, it speaks to how little character this country has fomented over the last 30, 40 years. Like that folk can't even have the self-awareness to go, hey, you know, and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't teach my children to do it. Yes, it's funny. Everybody and everybody. I've heard Governor Hot Wheels a lot.
Me too. Yeah.
A lot. I've had callers call him that. That's fine. That's your prerogative. Right. It's hilarious, you know, maybe, but
also no one's holding those
because of the time that we're in. Maybe last year wouldn't have been, you know, but where we are right now.
Well, also as a private citizen, no one has to vote for you. No one's holding you accountable. Period. If you want to say that, if like I said, if you're a comedian, they got so many jokes on Family Guy about people being in wheelchairs. That I understand the difference, but when you're an elected official, it does mean something, and it feels like we're at a time where the battle right now is, does that still mean something? And I think for our side, it needs to. Because I think if you give in completely to what they have on the other side, this chaotic, like your title means nothing. Don't matter if you're qualified. We just like the way you talk. Don't matter if you shouldn't be held accountable for any of it. You shouldn't get any pushback. I don't think our side can sustain that, but I guess we'll find out.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me in Karen Hunter is Awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power, a 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.